On this segment, I let you in on a little secret. I told you about the bag of tricks public officials use to avoid commenting on stories that make them look bad. In this case, it was the story of whether our state's sanctuary laws resulted in a rape victim allegedly being re-victimized by her attacker, this man, just after his release from jail. While the governor's office did offer us some prompt insight into the sanctuary laws, in regard to this case, they wrote me in an email, "We don't have the details of the case and sentencing, so we can't address the specifics." So on to the King County executive, Dow Constantine, someone who has been a fierce advocate for sanctuary policies. Surely he'd be willing to defend those policies. Not so much. Not so much. His director of communications communicated to me, "We don't comment on specific criminal cases because they involve decisions by separately elected officials." Well, isn't that convenient? And it turns out I forgot about another trick elected leaders in Seattle especially use to deflect questions and redirect blame. And I want to thank King County Executive Dow Constantine's spokesperson for reminding me of it so I could share it with all of you. After my commentary and other stories on this case aired last week, I got an email from the executive's press person. He was forwarding me a message sent to them. In the subject line, he wrote, "Feedback from your viewership." The email from a citizen to the executive's office read, "Your whole staff has a good future in prison where Dow and blank blanks like you belong." The words clearly too vulgar to read on TV, but just so you understand this, Dow Constantine's office got that nasty email, which makes no mention of Q13 or me, and they decided to forward it to me and another reporter here with the subject line, "Feedback from your viewership." Just so we're clear, the words used in that email are atrocious. The person who sent it to the executive's office should be ashamed. But blaming a news agency because some foul-mouthed citizen sent you an angry email is just as shameful. And I told Dow's office as much. I wrote, "I will not accept or be assigned blame for foul comments made by lunatics. This is a tactic often used by the Seattle Council and others to deflect criticism." And it is. I'll give you a recent example. Do you remember the story of Richard Schwartz? He was a Seattle resident who went viral after trying to give public testimony in front of the Seattle City Council, only to be ignored.
So it was unreasonable for you to ask that people look up and give me their attention?
Sir, you have 2 minutes. We're all looking at you. You have 2 minutes. Now you have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
The outrage among people who saw that video was instant. And some, unfortunately, decided the best way to funnel their anger was to send hateful and threatening messages to the council members. And a few of those council members posted those messages publicly. Lisa Herbold wrote on Twitter, "My inbox is full of emails like this," that one calling her a piece of you-know-what. Councilwoman Gonzalez shared a message where someone wished death on her. And those resulted in us being blamed for posting the video of Richard Schwartz in the first place, because somehow it was our fault those council members were getting such awful messages. Look, sending messages like those to anyone, let alone elected officials, is egregious. It's sick and it is sad. And ultimately, it undermines any legitimate gripe you might have with them. But for elected leaders to hide behind those messages as if it shields them from blame or scrutiny is just another maneuver to avoid accountability, to paint themselves as the victim, a shiny object to distract from the real issue at hand. But we, you and I, we see it for what it is, just another trick. And I know I speak for many of you when I say that their worn-out bag of tricks isn't fooling us any longer.